Hi students, let's talk about assignment number 1, which combines two observation tools. It includes using anecdotal records to look at self-care and using frequency counts to look at emotional development. So I'm going to take you through the instructions just to make sure you have a little additional support in case you have questions. You will find the assignment here in Canvas you see on the left-hand navigation bar under assignments. Important, please read. In order to complete assignment number 1, you must have selected a licensed child care facility and you must have selected a child aged 2 to 5 that you will plan to observe for the duration of this course. Please see last week's announcements for full detail. So before you even embark on this observation, make sure that you have in fact secured a licensed child care facility. And once you do go to the facility, you need to select one child who is between the ages of 2 and 5. Remember that that same child that you select will be the child for all of your subsequent observations for this course. So you will be observing the same child. So keep that in mind with regards to attendance, etc. So if you show up on a day to observe and that particular child is not there, then you would in fact have to reschedule your observation because all of your observations for this course will be looking at the same child. Okay, so here is the detailed assignment sheet for the assignment, and I have included 3 samples here. All 3 of these samples are in the same format that you will be using for this course, which combines both observation tools, anecdotal records, and frequency counts. Now, down below, I have some additional examples, and these are using the tool separately. So if you want another example of how the assignment is going to have you complete the anecdotal record, you can view this one, and then another separate example of looking at the frequency count observation tool. So I'm going to go through the assignment looking at one of the student samples, so not only will you see the instructions, but you will see a sample of how a student responded and completed each task. So let's take a look at student sample 1. All right, so if you take a look here, all of the information is completed in the top. This particular student observed at the Child Development Center at Pierce College. You have the child's name, the time that they observed, the date, classroom name, the age range of that particular class. Most classrooms in early childhood will be in a range like this is the 2-year-old classroom, or this is the 3 and 4s, or the 4s and 5s, etc. All right, and then your name goes here. I put FAB student since that's the example that we are looking at anonymously. So for an anecdotal record, and you understand from the text that an anecdotal record is everything that you observe. So here you are putting your objective notes of what you observe during that time frame. Now for this observation, you're looking at a minimum of 1 hour. This person observed for 2 hours, and that's fine. You only need to observe for an hour. And so for here on this left-hand column, you are putting simply objective facts of what you observe the child doing. So here are some examples from our FAB student. We have here, Ariella is in the kitchen drama play area. She pretends to wash a pan. First, she washes it with the sponge, then she washes the pan under the faucet. So this is just a straightforward, detailed, objective example of what the observer is seeing Ariella doing. Then she leaves the kitchen and rushes to help the lady who is carrying the cart of the breakfast. She grabs the handle of the cart and pushes the cart. She is smiling. So again, another good example of objective observation note-taking. This student is not putting any interpretations, no commentary, no opinions of what Ariella is doing and why, simply observing what you see. So imagine you are a fly on the wall and you're just simply observing what you see, or you're recording a video. A video is not going to put an opinion. A video is simply going to record what is happening in the classroom. Here, she leaves the cart and goes to the living room drama play area, grabs a picture album. She turns some pages and watches pictures. She leaves the album on the floor and goes to the second floor of the bedroom drama play area. So it's almost like you get a bird's eye view. It's almost as though I feel like I'm in the classroom seeing what the student is seeing while they are observing Ariella. So here, once you've done those anecdotal records, here on the right side, this is where you can interpret what you observe. So here is your commentary section. You can kind of include your opinions, your thoughts, your interpretations, your analyses, your opinions of what it is that you observed on the left side. So for example, we saw here on the left that Ariella is in the drama play area. She pretends to wash a pan, and then she washed it with a sponge. And then over here, the student writes, Ariella knows the order of washing. First, washing with soap, then water. She uses her fingers properly. She makes an appropriate use of fine motor skill. This is an excellent interpretation of what we see here. It also talks about what sorts of skills Ariella is using when she is doing these different activities. So again, on the left side, it's simply objective information. On the right, you're putting in your interpretation, your analysis, kind of the implications. Why is this important? What does this show about the child that we are observing? The second example, she leaves the kitchen and rushes to help the lady, etc. And then on the right, she shows happy face while helping the lady. She's friendly and comfortable to help adults. So this is your interpretation. There's no right or wrong answer here, but there should be a logical progression from what you wrote and what you are interpreting on the right. So that's the first part. That is part one of our anecdotal record tool. And then let's go down here. The student has lots of examples, which is great. Okay, so part two of our anecdotal record is your application plan based on your observation results. So select 2 self-help skill areas based on what you learned in chapter 2 that you observed and document approaches that you as a teacher would implement to support this child in developing these skills. So for example, what are some teaching strategies you might implement or changes in environment that you would implement? So keep this in mind. Each part here should be at least 2 paragraphs for each self-help skill area. So if you have 2 self-help skill areas, each self-help skill area should be 2 paragraphs. That should be a total of 4 paragraphs. So you can see here, the student has self-help skill eating, okay? So you have the first approach, the student has 2 paragraphs for each self-help skill area. And then you also need to have your teaching approach to address the self-help skill listed above. Okay, so this student wrote, had eating as the first self-help skill. So you have 2 paragraphs for the first teaching approach, how you would implement it, and then you have 2 paragraphs for the second teaching approach. I'm sorry, 2 paragraphs for the first teaching approach, and then 2 paragraphs for the second teaching approach. I think that's what I said, sorry. And then you have another self-help skill. The student chose personal hygiene. 2 paragraphs explaining your first teaching approach, 2 paragraphs explaining your second teaching approach. All right, so let's take a look at these. So for eating, the first teaching approach to help address the self-help skill listed above, Ariella follows the routines in breakfast time. She waits to take the food. She is aware about the amount of food that each time she takes. She doesn't waste any food, and she can use her fingers to hold the spoon and using it. She focuses on eating her food. She didn't disturb anybody. So the student wrote, I believe that eating time is one valuable time to interact with children and take them time for social development. Ariella didn't converse with her peers or her teacher. She was eating her food while her peers talked to her, played with her food. As a teacher, I paid attention to her silence. However, I believe that sometimes children need their time and space, but I would establish conversation with her about food and encourage her how nice she takes and eats the food. So the student is saying that they would include praise and positive feedback for Ariella so that she can continue those positive habits. Now, I will say this is an example. However, I do feel that this particular student could have done a better job with going into more detail about the teaching approach. So in your example, I want you to do even better than this example and be a little bit more specific about what are some things that you as a teacher would do to help Ariella during eating time, because we're talking about self-help skills. So Ariella during eating time, what are some things that you as a teacher can do to help enforce those self-help skills, particularly eating in this case? All right, So we also have the second approach. So we have the first approach for eating in the top, and then we have a second approach for eating here. As a teacher, I should notice all of the children who I'm in with. I should neglect any child. So after I see Ariella clean the table and sucked her finger, I would explain that there is a napkin for each child and we need to use it for cleaning. I will explain that we use spoons for eating, not our fingers. When we eat cereal, we can use our fingers while we want to peel our banana, etc. So the student is giving examples of how they would address Ariella and how they would encourage her to use the utensils, and that would be a way to explain your second approach for eating. And then we do the same thing with the second self-help skill. The student chose personal hygiene. So they have 2 paragraphs for the first teaching approach, and then they have 2 paragraphs for their second teaching approach. All right, so now I'm going to move on to talk about the second part of your observation, using frequency records to look at emotional development. Same information on the top. Now in the textbook, it talks about pro-social behaviors and antisocial behaviors. Okay, so some examples of pro-social behaviors would be things like helping to clean up, taking turns, etc. Examples of antisocial behaviors would be things like pushing, name calling, etc. Please refer to your text for additional examples. So for here, you're just simply adding those examples. You don't have to show all of your notes here, just the pertinent examples of pro-social behaviors here on the left and antisocial behaviors here on the right. So as you are observing the child for that hour, you're just going to list the things that you see happening. Okay, so it's not time-stamped or anything. You're just listing them on the left, things that are pro-social, and then things that are antisocial on the right. So we see lots of good examples here. Ariella helped to carry food, helps to clean up, waiting to use the bathroom, waiting to take turns, using the hollow blocks gently. But here on the right side, we see her, cleaning food with her finger, putting her finger in her mouth. I would say that this is really not an example of antisocial behavior because it doesn't seem like it has to do with interaction with other children. So that's a loose example here, but then trying to grab the small animal toys from her peers, that would be an example of antisocial behavior. Starting a physical conflict, definitely an example of antisocial behavior. So you're going to list those there. And then part one continued, the frequency count observation analysis. So based on your observation, what do you feel the child's strengths are regarding emotional development? Please include at least 2 strengths and explain why, at least 2 paragraphs. All right, so this student felt that Ariella had proper social development and explain why. So that is one strength. And then another strength was being patient, and the student explained why. Okay. So based on this frequency count observation results, what are the areas that are still developing? So we're not saying areas that are weak per se, but we're just saying what are some areas that the child could develop more, could further develop. So please include at least 2 areas and explain why, at least 2 paragraphs. So Ariella demonstrated some aggression. So that's one example that can be worked on. And then stress is another example. So the student gave her 1 paragraph here and then the second paragraph. Okay. And then we have our plan based on the areas of emotional development that are still developing. So the section we just looked at, see above, please select at least 2 areas and create an educational plan. So this is where you get to apply this information. What are you going to do about a child that is exhibiting antisocial behaviors? You're documenting some examples. And so what's your plan? So you have your first strategy. We're going to address aggression. At least 1 to 2 paragraphs for your first strategy. So this is where you're going to go into detail about what would you do as a teacher. Second strategy, at least 1 to 2 paragraphs. And then we're going to look at the second antisocial behavior that can be developed, which is stress. So the same thing, at least 1 to 2 paragraphs for your first strategy and at least 1 to 2 paragraphs for your second strategy. All right, so this is in a nutshell everything that you need to do for assignment number 1, where we are combining 2 observation tools using anecdotal records and using frequency counts. So I hope you have a great time observing. I look forward to reading your papers.